On behalf of Rabbi Kurant, who's currently in Europe traveling, our shul president, Jeff Shaves, our office manager, Sarah Senior, our event co-chairs, Dora Usher, Nancy Corey, Rafi Remes, and cantor Jeremy Burko, who has helped us out a lot on tech support. Charles Green, our in-house videographer, thank you very much. Our shul board and our congregants, welcome to the Lodzer Centre Congregation's music series called Sundays at 7. I am Cantor Marcel Cohen, the cantor of this synagogue, and your host for tonight's presentation. We would like to start by thanking the Canadian government for subsidizing this wonderful music series. So let's hear it for Canada. This is the third of 10 presentations. We handed out questionnaires to get your feedback so that we can improve for our next presentations, so please fill them out. Tonight's presentation is on Songs of the Yiddish Theater, to be presented by our award-winning Yiddish singer, Faye Kellerstein. And by Jordan Klapman, a renowned lecturer on his own right, who will be the piano accompanist for this evening. I want to transition to this night's performance by just talking about the fact for years now, there have been reports of Yiddish's demise. And actually, it's very much premature reports of Yiddish demise. To illustrate the point, when Yiddish writer and Nobel laureate Isaac Bashevis Singer gave his acceptance speech for his Nobel Prize for Literature, he said, "People ask me why I write in Yiddish. They're puzzled why I chose to write in such a dead language. My answer is that I am a firm believer in the coming of the Messiah. And as we all know, when the Messiah comes, there'll be the resurrection of the dead. So I write in Yiddish because when the resurrection of the dead happens and millions of dead Yiddish speakers will come back to life, they're going to ask, any good Yiddish books come out lately?" So as we can see from tonight's wonderful turnout, Yiddish songs and theater still pack a house in our very much alive and lively city of Toronto. Finally, before we begin, I request that at least a minyan of people stay afterwards so I can say Mariv, because I need to say Kaddish for my late father. Also, I wanted to ask, you guys are very respectful, I can see already, but if you could please turn off your cell phone ringers, just so that we have a completely uninterrupted presentation, and just, if you want to talk, if you can talk in outside, because we want to make sure that everyone fully enjoys the lecture tonight. So without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our third presentation on the Yiddish theater and its songs.
Schönen Dank, Marcel. Is a feiner and an edler man. I don't think he understands what I just said. He is a true gentleman. And I have enjoyed singing in his choir for about 3 years. Well, this program it was listed as the Yiddish Theater, but it is a music program, and I didn't catch it, but it should have been Songs of the Yiddish Theater, although I will talk about the beginnings of the Yiddish Theater as well. Now, because it's only the one session, you have to understand that this is only a taste. You're getting a small taste of what the Yiddish Theater was all about, because it's just impossible to do this very, vibrant topic in 1 hour or so session. I have enough for at least 3 or 4 hours, so I'll have to cut it. And those of you who understand Yiddish, ich hab zu singen und zu sagen. Okay. Starting with songs right away about Boris Tomaszewski. I have to make it quick because I have a lot of other things to tell you. Boris Tomaszewski came to New York City from Tarasha, shtetl near Kiev, when he was 12 years old in 1881. He worked in a cigarette factory in a sweatshop, but he used to love to sing there. And he had an idea to bring over some Yiddish theater actors. So he approached a wealthy tavern owner that he knew around the corner to ask him to maybe donate some money for this project. And this tavern owner, named Wolf, agreed to it. So they brought in a few of the Yiddish theater actors, and they put on a play called Die Kishefmacherin, The Sorceress, written by Abraham Goldfaden. But there are always snags in the stories. Nothing ever, es geht nicht gleich, you know. And the problem was, as Michael Tilson Thomas, Boris Tomaszewski's grandson, explained, he heard it from the source. Many Jews, especially the German Jewish community, didn't want a Yiddish play to be performed. They were embarrassed by it. These uptown Jews tried to buy the unsold tickets and bribe people not to attend. They even managed to bribe the female lead to develop a sore throat and not come on. But did that work? No, because Boris Tomaszewski went on as the female lead, and he did play a lot of female characters in his time. And in 1882, this was the first Yiddish theater play in America, and that was the Kishefmacherin, which I did when I went in 89. I took a trip to the National Yiddish Book Center, and there I took a Yiddish theater course, and that was the Kishefmacherin that we put on. It was taught by a Yiddish theater actress named Rita Karpinovich, if you are familiar with it. She used to act in the Moscow State Theater. What an experience that was. This was how I was introduced to Yiddish theater for the first time, and I found it a fascinating experience. The dialogue was so real. Then you had the songs and people in the marketplace and characters. There was all kinds of sparring between characters, a lot of action. It was just wonderful. Boris met his to-be wife, Bessie Tomaszewski. She was a young girl. When Boris was actually playing a woman's role, and Bessie Tomaszewski went backstage to meet the Sheyn Vi Di Levone. And it turned out to be a man. She was very surprised. But they got married and worked together in Yiddish theater for many years. Let me get to the next song. Yes, now we're in America. And people, of course, had high hopes coming to America, the Goldene Medina, and everything would be just wonderful. Okay. But you know that's not the case. The next song is called Lebn Zol Kolombus. Bessie Tomaszewski, by the way, she developed a lot of different character parts and was a comedian in her own right. And she was actually the precursor. She was a model for people like Fanny Brice, Molly Picken, and even Barbara Streisand. She was a very talented woman. Now, the next slide should be Lebn Zol Kolombus. This is the poster for the Grüne Millionär, from which the song Lebn Zol Kolombus comes from. This song is from an early stage musical comedy number written in New York in 1915. Boris Tomaszewski played the hero role. And it's about a poor immigrant, Zalman, who came to America before his family. And then his wife, he receives a letter from his wife, but he lies to his wife and tells her that he has become a prosperous businessman, when in fact he works in a tiny coal cellar as a delivery man. So the song is called Lebn Zol Kolombus, Long Live Columbus, I think is that, yes. This is the chorus, which I want you to sing with me, and the words are, Eis ist gut, singt she alle mit, Lebn Zol Kolombus, trinkt Brievele Lach Lachayim, O Lebn Zol Kolombus, fahr dem Land dem Nayim. So let's try it that far, just read together with me. Eis ist gut, singt she alle mit, Lebn Zol Kolombus, trinkt Brievele Lach Lachayim, Lebn Zol Kolombus, fahr dem Land dem Nayim. Seid zufrieden, glebt nicht in die Trombes, schreit Jeden, Lebn Zol Kolombus. So let's just hear that chorus. Jordan. Lebn Zol Kolombus. Ice is good. From there. I got the key right. Singt she alle mit, oi, Lebn Zol Kolombus, trinkt Brievele Lach Lachayim, o Lebn Zol Kolombus, fahr dem Land dem Nayim, sei zufrieden, glebt nicht in die Trombes, schreit Jeden, Lebn Zol Kolombus, Lebn Zol Kolombus. Okay, so I'm going to do the verse, A Shtetl is America, Machaya. I'll sing it, and I think most of you will understand it. A Shtetl is Amerika, Amechayach Leben, es ruht auf ihr die Schriedele, wir sollen also leben. Milchomes, Wichsen, Menschenblut, darfen mir auf Zores, a Gubernator darf man nicht, a Kaiser auf Kapores. Eis ist gut, singt she alle mit, oi, Lebn Zol Kolombus, trinkt Brievele Lach Lachayim, o Lebn Zol Kolombus, fahr dem Land dem Nayim, sei zufrieden, glebt nicht in die Trombes, schreit Jeden, Lebn Zol Kolombus, Lebn Zol Kolombus. And I'm just going to read you the words of the second verse. So they're extolling the virtues of America. Long live America. Farmelach is America a glik nor a Gan Eden, while boys is du kechol hayam. A teinig oya leben, und kein Naden darf man nicht, you don't need a dowry. Shatchonim auf Kapures. Und als a Trombenig will Geld, kriegt amoit mit Sures. A Trombenig is a grumbler. So I think we can go on to the next one, which is a Brievele Der Mamen. Solomon Shmulevitz wrote both the music and the lyrics. This was published in 1907. Immigrants left parents in the old country, and they knew that they would probably never see them again. triest, du Forster weg, te sei a Sohn a guter, dir beit mit Tränen und mit Schreck, dein treu geliebte Mutter. Du fuß mein Kind, mein einzig Kind, Arine weite Jammen. No Kummer hin, no frisch gesund, und nicht vergess deine Mamen. No vorgesund und komm mit Glück, sei jede Woche a Brievele schick. Mein treuer Kind, der Quick. A Brievele der Mamen, sollst du nicht versammeln. Schreib geschwind, liebes Kind, schenk ihr deine Krone. Die Mame wird ein Brievele lesen und sie wird genesen. Hörst ihr Schmerz, ihr bitter Herz, und kriegt ihr deine Schone. That was Solomon Shmulevitz. I just want to mention that it became a very popular song, as you can imagine, not in one particular opera or operetta, but in many theatrical pieces, and it was also in, I guess it was in English theater as well. Brievele Der Mamen was also the title of a 1938-39 Yiddish film by a score by Abraham Elstein. Shmulevitz had sold the rights to his song, big mistake, and for $25. Now that's not the first time that has happened. And in the film Brievele Der Mamen, although the song was played many times in background music, his name wasn't even mentioned. Yeah. Going on to the next Jewish composer, actually one of the big ones, one of the greats. Joseph Rumshinsky as a young man, and the next one is the way he looked as an older person. He first experienced Yiddish theater in Goldfaden's opera Shulamis, and just loved it. In 1888, well, he was born in 1881, so as a child, he conducted a full production of Goldfaden's Bar Kochba in Lodz. This is the Lodzer Synagogue. Then he conducted the Hazimir Choral Society. He was one of these young people who studied in these Russian state schools, and so he was familiar with Haydn, Handel, Mendelssohn oratorios. He immigrated to the United States in 1904, and he met Boris Tomaszewski. The two of them worked together for many years at the National Theater, and I think I have the National Theater coming up soon, the picture of it. Dozens of shows, but what I want to show you, the next song, I believe it's the next one, is Sheyn Vi Di Levone, because that's the song that I think he's most famous for, and I think people just sing it as a folk song and don't realize that it was written by Rumshinsky. So we're going to sing it together. Sheyn Vi Di Levone, Heimlich hab ich gefunden, wenn ich hab dir gefunden. Du scheinst wie 1000 Sieben, hast mein Herz beglückt. Deine Zähne, weiße Perle, mit deinen schönen Augen, deine Hände, hast mir zugezeugen, Sheyn Vi Di Levone, lichtig wie die Sterne von Himmel am Matone, bist du mir zugeschickt. Now, thank you for those of you who sang it. Be in order. Now, looking at Rumshinsky's photograph, he looks quite stern. Now, back to Rumshinsky, and he was a very serious man, and apparently he didn't treat his singers and actors very well. He was really hard on them. He was a perfectionist, but he got the results that he wanted, and he had a very long career in the Yiddish theater. Thank you. Ashamed for your attention. I went over a bit. I guess I should do a series of this because I just fell in love with the Yiddish theater and wanted to learn more about the actors and playwrights and composers, lyricists, etc. And I do have an awful lot of information. I have cards outside, so if you have a group who might be interested in this, give me a call. Thank you to Jordan.
Let's hear it for Faye and Jordan. As Faye said at the beginning of her presentation, each of the presentations that we have, especially this one, could be another 10 presentations.
Yes.
We could do Sundays at 7 just on Yiddish from now until Kiddush in December. And the only thing that's stopping us is, to borrow a Yiddish word, geld. So the way we got this series going is I had a conversation with our vice president, I think it was a year ago almost today, and he said to me, you know, we really need to get more people coming to the Lodger. So he said, I'll pay you commission for every person you get to join. So I said, even though my name is Marcel, I'm not much of a salesman. But why don't we do programs? So he said, oh, we don't have the money for that. So I said, well, okay, how about if I write to the government and maybe they'll give us a grant? Maybe. Lo and behold, I wrote and we got the grant. And that's how we have Sundays at 7. So, thank you very much. Thank you to the government of Canada, really. They're amazing. And I like to do more of these. I like to do more of this specific topic, Yiddish, because, you know, there's not enough. There's not enough of it. And so, thank you. So, we're asking for donations if you want. We have a donation box out there. And hopefully to enhance this one, and hopefully to do future ones. And I'm already thinking of ways to brainstorm and come up with other ways to do the next series, hopefully, God willing, the next year. Oh yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I really want to thank Marcel for asking me to do this. Actually, he asked me if I would like to do 2 sessions. I thought it would be too much right now. We've got some health issues in our family. But I'm so pleased that you did ask me. It was the only Yiddish program on the list of 10.
Wow, that was beautiful. Wow, your voice, oh my gosh, hauntingly beautiful. Really. Our next presentation, before you go, I just want to tell you, is next week, Sunday, September 18th. It's Jewish music of North Africa. I think you'll be very interested. It's going to be presented by Cantor Aaron Ben-Susan. And before you leave, please join us for refreshments at the back. Do not forget to hand in your questionnaires. And if you can, as many of you who could stay, just to say Mariv, because I have to say Kaddish for my father. So if you want to stay, there's prayer books over here. And please join us for refreshments at the back. See you next Sunday at 7. Good night and drive safely. Thank you for coming.
Shalom.